All right, guys, want to drop this video for you guys. It's tax season, and one of my favorite industries is the hair and nail salon industry and similar small businesses where a lot of times these can be supplemental income type jobs or even full-time jobs for people. So what I want to do is kind of talk to you about, and I'm going to share my screen real quick with you, is the different types of write-offs that we can do. So a lot of times when we're business owners, we want to know what tax write-offs am I eligible for. So let me just blow up this screen real quick so you guys can see what I'm talking about just a little bit more clear. So hopefully you guys can see this as I'm talking. But what I want to do is going to introduce you to a profit and loss statement. The profit and loss statement is important because this is the information that we need to gather for year ends that we need to give to our tax professional or tax advisor so that they can do your tax return. The reason why the tax return is important, so let's say that being a stylist or a barber is your source of income and you go to get a loan, your Schedule C is what a lot of you will file. This is the financial statement that a lender is going to want to see what your income is at the end of the year or for the prior year in case you're trying to get a loan. So that leads us into, and what you can do is you can make your own Excel template just like this, pretty easy to use. I'll maybe see if I can put mine down in the link below that you guys can just use where it's already built out. But you can do just an annual total, or what you could do is you could build this out where it's month by month and you just go in and you fill it out. So whenever I talk to business owners, I like to have them break everything out month by month and keep it current so you can actually see where your numbers are. A lot of times when we're business owners, we just go by what's in our bank account. If we have income in there, we're doing good. If we don't have any income and we're borrowing from credit cards, and we know we're doing bad. So get used to keeping track of your income and your expenses. So right up here, I put these items in green because we want to make some money. So money green. So you can have income coming in from nail or hair. And I don't know, maybe you're a tattoo artist, anything like that. So just picture this would be your income right here. So I'm going to put in $100,000 right here, and I'll show you why down below. Now, let's say that you collect any cash tips or any tips, you could break that out as well. And then let's say that you have some product sales. Product sales, you need to be really careful because you may have to be collecting sales tax, depends on the state that you're in. So make sure that you reach out to your tax professional and talk to them about sales tax. So a lot of times you're gonna buy your product without paying tax. And then when you sell it to the end consumer, then you may have to pay tax, collect that tax and pay it in. So let's just say that we brought in $100,000 for the year. This would be called our net income. But what we can do is we can actually count our income minus all of our expenses will give us our net income. So we can go in, and I kind of broke out some of the expenses that I could see in your services. So let's just kind of go through these one by one. So I kind of like to give a little bit of an explanation and kind of help you understand as I go. So right now we're going to say at the end of the year, we added up all of our Venmo, our PayPal, our cash apps, our cash, our checks, and we came up to $100,000 of income. Now, as a business owner, we want to earn our money, we want to spend our money, and then pay tax on what's left. Okay, so now we've earned our money. Now we want to spend our money. So let's say that we have to pay an accountant or someone to prepare taxes. Usually if it's a business tax return, you might be anywhere close to $500, depends on where you're at. Any advertising, so let's say that you do any business cards, you buy any shirts with your logos, you do any social advertising, then we want to make sure that we're accounting for all of our advertising. So let's say that you have a budget, you spend about $100 a month, gives you $1,200 for the year. And then I'm going to skip the ones in the red and I'll come back to those here in just a little bit. Now, the one thing that I do recommend that if you're self-employed, you own your own business, once you fill out a W-9 and you hand it to the person that's going to be paying you, let's say that you work for someone and you rent a booth, then they're going to have you collect your own money, then you may have some bank fees in there. So let's say you set up your own business. Now you set up your own bank account, and now the bank's charging you $10 a month for your bank fees. So really, you shouldn't have to pay that as long as you're keeping a certain amount of money in the bank. So hopefully you're not spending too much on that. Now, business insurance, you may need to look in, maybe talk to your insurance agent, see what you would need for a business insurance policy. We're just going to put $500 in there right now. Let's say that you have your own place in your home, or you build out a retail spot and you now have chairs that you got to buy. Then let's just put 5 grand, you bought some chairs. Now, any education, so I like to call this continued education. So if you're trying to better your skills, then you need to buy, any videos or anything like that to learn new techniques. So let's just drop $100 in there. If you need internet and Wi-Fi, we could drop some money in there. A lot of times we're doing a lot of our social media now from laptops or computers. And so if you need a laptop to stay in front of your customer base and to do little posts on Facebook, then I would write off a computer here. If you have any legal fees, hopefully you're not needing too much in legal fees in business. Let's say that you need to renew your licensing. The state that I'm at, they usually have to renew it every other year. The Venmos and the PayPals, their merchant fees are pretty expensive. They're right around 3%. So let's just say we had about $3,000 in merchant fees. Now, when it comes to product sales, we need to know what we paid for the products so we can keep an amount. And maybe you can separate this: products that you use and then products that you use, you bought wholesale, now you're going to sell them retail. So you could keep 2 categories there. Any promotionals, if you're buying little gadgets, I don't know, maybe, in our industry, you'd put them on little footballs, frisbees, flags, anything like that. You're just handing out any promotional items. Refreshments. So I love businesses that offer me something to drink or something to snack on while I'm waiting. I usually think about car dealerships, title companies. When you go in as a real estate agent, there's different industries where it's pretty customary that when you go in, you're going to be offered, maybe a soda, some crackers, some snacks. So anything that you guys do, I really think that this can help your business. So don't overlook the refreshments. Booth rent is going to be one of your bigger expenses. Depending on how much you guys need to pay per month. I'm just going to put in a big amount right there. And then let's say that you need to attend a seminar or a convention. That really should be one of my red ones, so we'll come back to that. Now, if we look at stylist tools, we want to make sure we take advantage of all the tools that we buy. Anything that we need to be able to perform our services, we need to make sure we're keeping receipts on and getting those deductions. The way I look at it, as you can see, now we're down to $82,000 in our net income. We need to learn how to take advantage of the tax code, because we need to be able to nickel and dime the IRS like they are for us, is the way I look at it. So I don't promote doing anything fraudulent, but just following the tax code. And then if we look at any supplies, slide this over. So if you're buying any shampoos, conditioners, shears, colors, foils, etc., we want to make sure we're keeping receipts of all those. And a lot of times my stylists, they really only buy their products from 2 different vendors. And so it's pretty easy for them to keep all their receipts. And then technique classes and other professional developments is good. Whenever I go get my hair done, they always have the towels. So you're gonna have your towels and your cleaning expense. Let's say that you're carrying a website for your business, and then work clothes and footwear. I wouldn't be too extreme on this. The IRS doesn't like us to write off any clothing that we can wear on just an ordinary day. So like doctors and scrubs, you're not just gonna go buy you some scrubs and wear them around all the time. But if we buy a nice polo shirt, a nice classy shirt, then the way to kind of get around that is maybe put a logo on it, so it's more for advertising, which is, I always think, is a great idea because it helps people know what you do. So now you can see that we went from $100,000 down to $80,000. So now we're earning our money, we're spending our money, and now we're paying tax on what's left, right? So now we're paying tax on the 82. But now we want to go and look at, okay, is there anything that we use in our personal lives that we can kind of shift over to that business expense? So these are the ones I put into the red. So auto standard mileage rate, a lot of people overlook this deduction, and you can use apps like Mile IQ that when you go to hop in your car, it's going to track your miles and where you went by GPS. And you can tell it this was a uh, business deduction or personal deduction. So if you're getting 56, 58 cents, I can't remember what they put in for 2022 yet. I think it's 56 cents a mile last year. Then if you look at it, those little miles, 56 cents every mile that you drive starts to add up for a deduction. Now there's certain rules that are put in place. So when you're driving from your home to your work location, those are called commuting miles and those are non-deductible. Let's say we went from home to the salon, and then from the salon, we had to go buy products. Then the salon to where we go to buy products, those become deductible miles. And so anytime you're doing that, we want to make sure we're getting the business write-off. Let's say that you live in a town that's kind of far away, that you have to drive to the city to go buy your products. You might be driving 300 miles that day to go get your products. So that deduction can add up quite a bit. Next is your cell phone. So it's kind of hard to do your job. You fill up your calendar if you don't have your cell phone, and being able to have your customers reach out directly to you. If someone's looking to book an appointment, they can't get a hold of you, they might call someone else. So having that phone is super important. So I'm looking at writing off the cost of the phone plus the data. And so a lot of times this can be a personal expense that now we start to take advantage of the business deduction. We're going to put in some expenses here. Home office expense. There may be some of you that have your salons. I used to be a real estate agent, and I went through a lot of homes where they had the salons built out in their homes. Well, we can take advantage of that area of your home for a business deduction. Now, I'm not going to say anything in this because I think the majority of people work from a retail space. Then we come down, meals is one of my favorite ones. I would try to take advantage of this every once in a while. It's great to, if you're ordering in food and you want to have a, just kind of a get together with all the stylists in the salon, I would probably order in some food, talk about business, maybe talk about what write-offs you're doing for your business. So I would definitely take advantage of writing off some meals throughout the year. Every once in a while, it's all right to go and have a business lunch. The next one is vacation, where I really look at seminars and conventions to kind of possibly give me a vacation. So if, let's say that I'm in Utah, but let's say I needed to attend a convention in New York to see the newest hairstyles or whatever I'm working on, then maybe I can fly to New York, attend a seminar. All I have to do is be in that seminar convention for at least 4+ hours a day. And then in the evening, I can go and have some fun and get a vacation. And that's all going to be tax deductible. So you want to make sure you're following the rules and the laws on that. And so very, very important. I've tried to do this at least once a year, get out, try to do a vacation, travel, and then get that deduction. Let's say that we spend a couple $1,000s there. So you can see how just going through those last few deductions, we went from 82 down to $72,000 in tax savings. Hiring children, I don't like to get too involved into this. I think it's a better conversation with you and your tax advisor, because it depends on the type of entity that you have for your business and the age of the child that this deduction comes in. But I'm just going to let you know, if you're Schedule C, your child's under the age of 17, they have to perform some sort of work for you. You can't just make them a payment. But the goal here is to save on taxes. And I know my kids are expensive. My boy's in basketball. He goes to 3 hours of training 2 times a week plus games. And so if there's a way that I can shift money from my income, that may be paying for him anyway, but I can have him provide a service for my business. So I have my kids, they do a lot of office help around, whether it's shredding paper, taking out the garbage, cleaning up, making sure my files are in order. Sometimes they're answering phone calls, scheduling appointments, but if there's a way that you can incorporate your kids into your business and pay them a reasonable wage for what they do, then you can pay them, you still control the money, and then you can take that money and pay for their extracurricular activities. So it's just one way to transfer money from you to your kids, and they may not even have to file a tax return. And that's a very complex area right here. So make sure you're doing it right. Make sure that you have that conversation with your tax advisor. So hopefully you guys enjoy this content. I don't have anything to sell you guys. As far as my business, we're not even really taking on that many new clients on anymore. We're pretty established. So just really wanted to do this video to help you guys out. So this may be supplemental income where, maybe you drop this down to, I'm just making $10,000 a year, but I still want to take advantage of all my write-offs. Maybe you're at 50,000 a year. So just kind of play, you can build out this Excel template. You can follow my format and then just play with the numbers. But the big thing is once you sign that W-9 and you become self-employed, the thing that you need to be careful for is you're going to be paying what's called self-employment tax. This is usually where you guys say, do I need to be paying quarterlies? So what you do is you take this net income amount and you're going to times it by 15.3% because that is your self-employment tax. And so right here, we'd have $3,500 that would need to be paid in April, June. You do this 4 times a year. So let's put a 4 here so we don't confuse too many people. So in April, because you'd be making this money throughout the year. So in April, you'd have to make a payment for self-employment tax to the IRS of $872. In June, another $872. In September, another $872. Then the first of the year, $872. But if you're not keeping track of your income on a monthly basis or, pretty consistent basis, you're not going to know what this amount is that you're going to need to be paying tax on. And so I highly recommend that, you reach out to your tax advisor. They can probably help you get set up on a QuickBooks or a Quicken, some sort of software that can help you keep track of your income and then your expenses as well, so that you know what your business numbers are throughout the year, which I highly, highly recommend. If you don't know your numbers, then I really don't think you have a business. So hopefully this helps. I love providing value for you guys. If you guys would just do me a favor, anytime you guys click the like button, it makes my day. If you comment, I love to answer questions as well. But please subscribe to the channel, share this with your friends, your family, your crew, whether it's the people in your salon, your team, whatever you need to really take advantage of these tax write-offs. I want you guys to save money and not to just get hosed in taxes. So appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on the next video. Have a great day.